Like I had a song hit the charts this year, number 19 on the charts. And to be honest, shout out to my guy Cujo. Hopefully, he doesn't take this wrong, but I didn't like the song. But it's business, you know.
Right.
And afterwards, started liking it. It grew on me a little bit, but maybe it's not that I didn't like it, but it's not like a song that I didn't write it myself. So I guess it had to grow on me because I didn't write it. Maybe I don't know, but the song hit the charts, and I was like, "Holy crap!" Like something I didn't want to do. I went out of my comfort zone. I did it, and then look how the universe works. You know, and
That's
it's just a
crazy.
blessing. Like I guess you just gotta things just fall in line. I guess, and it's a blessing. It's like it's really a blessing.
Well, for everybody that apparently can hear us now,
All right, well that's good. Hello, everybody.
which y'all missed prior to this, which, like I said, I'm going to splice it together and we're going to put it, into one video. Wolf, I need you.
Say hi.
But in all honesty, if for anybody that isn't aware already, you make music, you vocal produce, you have a literal campaign with your pictures in frontline stores. Like, it's crazy. But if anybody's curious, which I'm sure y'all are, he does most of it himself because that's the way he wants it, right? And
Yeah,
you just have to. I mean, like I do this by myself. I do have people that help me with certain aspects of it, but when it comes to, well, obviously, I don't have like a technical team that's like, here's how you fix what you just broke.
now I wish I did have a team, like
Me too.
but I guess it doesn't work that way exactly how you want it to work. So I feel like over time things will happen the way they're supposed to happen. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And with that being said, the show has must go on. So you got to do what you got to do.
No,
And
exactly. I
on the
just
modeling stick, I don't prefer to be independent. I just like I said, I never like signed up to be a model. So people just reach out, and opportunities have just been grateful. But I feel like now that I'm doing it, and I see the money that could be made, and the opportunities, and the fun behind it, um, I would like to connect with other agencies or companies and brands because the modeling I do independent, and that is really hard to like get mainstream. Just um, being independent, but I go back to say like when I said the marketing team is in Indiana, I think that was a blessing in disguise. It just kind of felt I'm in the right place at the right time because there's not a lot of stuff that goes on in Indiana as far as fashion, model, uh, music industry stuff. So I gotta travel and move around a lot. So
no, I get
gotta
that.
get it done.
No, I get that. I mean, and that I think that's what I love the most is I love seeing people hustle and I love seeing people push themselves and believe in themselves and say, look, this is what I want. And here's the different places I might need to go in order to get there. And then they just do it themselves. I mean, on one hand, it's nice to have someone that can help propel you forward. But like I said, if you're not willing to do it yourself, why would you have any expectation of anyone else doing it too for you?
Exactly,
Like once you
and
grown,
that
that doesn't happen anymore. That's not how that works. I tell my kids that all the time. Like that's not how that works. You get grown and you do things but up until then, I will help you, but you still have to learn how to do it on your own. And it's just the same with the whole, once you get a piece of how to do the process without help, I guess, you know, like making beats or making your own mixing or doing whatever, it's hard to hand that back and take away what you have in your head. You're like, I know what I want it to sound like. I don't want to wait for you to figure it out and try and explain it to you. I'm just going to do it.
right.
I feel like it saves time too, a little bit.
Well, it kind of saves time because if you never figure it out, then it could be wasting time.
Well, plus, I mean,
So I guess it just goes either way, you know. But it's just how you look at the cup, also either half full or half empty. I don't know.
no, I get that. I just, what was your favorite song that you made so far? Like, what's the one that if you're like, okay, if you don't know me and you want a taste of who I am and you could only pick one of your songs, which one would it be?
Um, I would say that's music that isn't released yet.
Okay.
My best music and music that feel like this is me and people don't know who I am. It isn't out yet. Like I have punk music, I have rock music, I have country music. People, my fans do know that I write country music for other artists in the industry, but I also have country music myself, and like I said, I don't want to be put in a box. I want to do it all. So um, I think my favorite song is it's not out yet, but for the stuff that's out, man, maybe Faded Away.
Okay.
That's a sleeper too. People haven't didn't really tap into that. I didn't really like push it a lot. It was just something I was really feeling, and I wanted before like my career takes off major or before we like blow up huge. I want people to say like see that okay, he's been on this vibe, he's been doing this, he's been different, So I kind of got a couple different vibes out there just so people understand that I'm not just in a box, but they've yet to hear my favorite work, to be honest.
I get that. I caught that one because I used it on one of the promos.
Oh, really?
That was the second one. The first.
Oh, yo, you're right. You're right.
Hmm.
I saw that. That's one of my favorite songs. And obviously, everything I'm making music about is coming from the heart. So, um, I don't just put anything together with no effort. It's all coming from a soft place in my heart. Something I've been through, something I experienced, something I could have heard someone else going through that influenced me, that touched my heartstrings, that made me feel away. Like it's all coming from a soft place. So I just I just like to make meaningful music, and so a lot of it's usually love related. I do make I do make different vibes, like I make fun music as well, but most of the time I'm in my feelings. So
And
like
being in your feelings can make some really good music. And one of the things that you were saying, which is that you got rock and you got country and you got pop, you got all these different, and that's actually a really good thing because not necessarily that your go-to. Let's say I know there's a lot of artists that will go out there and they will put out songs, right? And
uh-huh.
but they do dabble in these other genres, and even if that's not the genre that you tend to like lean into a little bit, the fact is that what you learn and what you hear and what you kind of different techniques even they contribute to your music as a whole. I'm not saying a full fusion. I'm just saying, it's better to have the more knowledge you have, the better it is. It can only make you get better. So people that are like, "Oh, no, 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 I only all the greats talk about it all the time that they listen to different stuff and that you can ask them who their favorite so and so type artist is and they can tell you because they pay attention to all these other possibilities."
Yeah, and it was kind of like a natural thing. Like my stepmom, she's white, father's biracial, you know. So I listened to all types of music growing up. I'm talking from Celine Dion to the Dixie Chicks to Tupac to Lionel Richie to Whitney Houston. So I grew to Nickelback to Lenny Kravitz. It was just all over, but and I enjoyed all of it, and I feel like that's why now as an artist, like I just feel so many different vibes, and I'm able to just adapt to any vibe or adapt to any room.
Right.
And it's coming from like a natural place. It's not nothing that's forced. It's not something like that I'm trying to create. It's something that is just it's there. It's in me already. So it's in the most humblest way. It's like easy to do. Like it just comes to me.
Right.
So I just have fun doing it. Like I have tons of music, probably over 300-400 songs, probably more than that. That's just what I know for sure. But I just make a lot of music and
I mean,
I just have fun.
anyone that thinks that they're just going to say, okay, it's 4:30 Central Standard Time. Um, I'm going to sit down and write the best song ever, and I'm giving
Some people
myself an
think that.
hour, and then yeah, it's just gonna work. And then
Some
well,
people really think that.
yeah, like you have to. You're gonna write crap songs. You're gonna write ones that are like wah wah, and everybody's like okay, and or maybe you
And
put it together and you go, the hell was I drinking that day? Like what is going
but
on?
like even if I make a song in like 30, 40 to an hour minutes,
Mm-hmm.
like I'm still working on that song, critiquing it for a couple weeks, you know, like if the
Right.
whole vibe and all the words might get laid like the first hour, which is true, but that doesn't mean it's done. I might change the way some things sound, change a word here, change it, you know. But so I get it. Stuff can get done fast, but like it's not about that, you know. Like
Right.
it, perfection takes time.
Well, and
Sometimes I think that I'm too much of a perfectionist, and I gotta figure out a way to get out of that box because like holding myself back when it comes to that, if that makes sense. Like I want everything just to be like already perfect. The videos should just be so larger than life, and being independent, you have to work with what you got, and budget is the main part. So like sometimes those visions I'm just not ready to not I'm not ready, but I just can't make happen quite yet. So like
right.
it can get discouraging mentally, man. Like it really can, but you got to keep pushing, man. It's either you're made for this crap or you're not.
Well, I can speak from a place like as a listener and a person who listens to a lot of independent music. I hear unreleased tracks all the time. People send them to me. I get that quite often. Um, I can promise you, hands down, that especially being independent, number one, half of us don't give a rat's ass about the video. Now, if it's cool, that's great. That's awesome. Don't get me wrong. But it's more about the music. And the other flip side of that is never underestimate a really cool angle and a light and a black background. Like, don't ever underestimate something as simple as that because it can make it 10 times more powerful than, you know, Marvel heroes coming out from the sky and, you know, like a cyclops stomping through. It really can bring like a simplicity to your music, or at least the video.
It makes sense. I guess that's what I'm saying. I guess being independent and having full control sometimes can also be a fucking kick. Oh, excuse my language. It also can be a kick in the butt, you know, like because
And we don't give a fuck about
you
language
have a
around here. This is not for kids.
well, it can really be a fucking pain in the ass, all right?
No, it can. I
And
believe it.
it's because like you have all these high expectations for yourself, and then you might even if the most simplest thing is simple, you're still overthinking it somehow because you're just doing it all on your own and it's only your input.
Right. No, I get that, and I'm just saying, and like I said, to each their own, and whatever you feel that get. I'm not trying to like, oh, I'm going to tell you what to do. That's not what I'm saying. But just take it from me as somebody who pays attention, who watches, who sees people coming out with music, big, small, sort of bigger than the smaller ones, and sort of smaller than the big. Like I see all from 150 subscribers having really big videos to 700,000 subscribers with simplistic one scene type videos. And you can really, dial all of that back because when it comes down to it, I can't play your video on my car stereo.
Right.
That's me though, right? So you can have a really awesome video, honestly, but if I don't like the song, I'm not going to watch it. I'll be like, okay, that was cool, and I'll move on. So as an independent, you obviously have to think about all those different things, and just don't underestimate a really good iPhone, and a cool angle, and just let her rip.
Well, maybe for some content, you know, maybe for some content.
Yeah.
If you're paying attention, no.
I'm just
Excuse
saying.
me. Son.
Just saying.
But no, you're right though. You gotta can't overthink it a lot.
Yeah, because sometimes if those songs that you have, right, that are you, but there's something keeping it from going out. It doesn't matter what step in the process. It could be the fact that you've already had them written, but you just have to, lay them down, or you have to do this, that, or the other. People just want to hear it, man. I know they are. I could see some of the people that follow you that are really
Yeah,
excited.
and I've been holding it back. I gotta get it out.
But you got a lot going on, so it's not like you're just, sitting there twiddling your thumbs.
Well, I hope they understand that,
Oh, I'm sure they do.
And I think the biggest part of it is because, like I said, I make so much music. Like, I'm so worried about what the listeners are thinking about the different vibes and the different songs and the switch ups and the change ups of like the genres. And like, I don't know why I'm worried about that, but like I don't like disappointing my supporters. And so like, and also I don't want. Hey, wait a second, Silas, wait for mommy. And so like I don't know. It's just it can be really complicated for me sometimes, like I said, because I make so much different type of music and I'm all over the place. It's just so elective, and I sometimes I know I have a lot of R&B supporters, and I know I have, I don't know how I'm supposed to just attack maybe putting out all the stuff that I really want to put out. Hey,
Well,
I
I
don't know
mean,
how I'm really supposed to attack it sometimes. I think I'm just overwhelmed with it and overthinking.
well, I truly don't think that you're gonna lose like the R&B supporters. I think that
Yeah,
the only thing you really have is to gain people that might be more interested in listening to something that's less R&B and more towards another, just kind of even
genre.
leaning towards another genre. There are people that will listen to R&B, but they like it when it has kind of a rock sound to it, or if it has like more guitar, or if it has more, whatever the case may be. And I think that you only have the opportunity to gain. I don't think you'd lose the supporters that you have. And if you did, do you really need them? Do you want them anyway? I mean, really? If,
No, you're right.
if they're gonna take off, like,
Your
oh my
supporters are
god,
gonna support whatever
yeah, that's
whatever
a,
you're putting out. Your real fans are gonna support whatever you're putting out. But man, people are harsh, man. I listen to them. Let's talk about Drake's new album. Like, what is this? This is not the Drake. Like, you gotta. I don't know why people just are so. They don't understand. Like, if you want to hear that type of sound from me, then go listen to that song that I released in 2018. If you want to hear that type of vibe from me, then go check out that song of that vibe that I released. Like, I don't, it's like I just watch people and listen to people just judge artists like, man, that new album is trash, or it wasn't as hard as the last one. Like, you have to appreciate music for what it is when it
right.
comes out. And I think that I guess you just gotta not get caught up in the gossip. You just gotta be confident in what you're doing and just keep going.
No, absolutely, because there's a moment in time where you just have to stop. Like, you can see what people are saying, but it shouldn't influence what you're doing at all, in my opinion.
Never.
Unless they're like, oh my god,
Guys,
like
come over here, sit down.
literally, whatever that was, like, don't ever do that again. And like every single person is like, you sounded like a dying duck. I mean, that's different. Um, but Champagne Rain, does he enjoy the
It's okay.
music or the modeling side of things most?
Um, I I probably say the music because it's something I'm able to express myself in so many different ways, let out different emotions and how I'm feeling, and say what I want without somebody talking back or arguing about my opinion and how I say it and how I feel it in the music. And it's just a whole different outlet for me.
Oh, I get that.
Modeling is fun. It's just a way to express myself. I enjoy it. I get to be the center of attention for a couple hours. I mean,
Yeah.
it's fun in a different way. I enjoy music way more for sure.
Kitty McBride says, "What's his biggest inspiration?"
It is. It is. Excuse me. What'd you say?
Kitty McBride says, "What's your biggest inspiration?"
Um, I would say I would say the things that I'm going through, like my life. And so when I say that, being my family, my children, those are my biggest inspirations. Those are what keep me striving. To be honest, I would say that my kids are my biggest inspiration.
I feel that. I really do.
Yeah.
That's what my move is all about. So I get that
Yeah.
completely.
and my music might not be pertained around like life or my children, but those that's what keeps me going, you know.
Well, that's what
So that's my
inspires
biggest
you to do
inspiration.
well and to be great.
Yeah,
It
and
inspires
being a
you
great
to,
example of
yeah,
just
reach for your
yes.
dreams, teach them that they can reach for theirs, all of that, all of it, all of the above, and maybe make a better life. Hit your stride, either get into a position where you can do what you love, but then you can provide for them and show them all of that in the meantime. I mean, that's what
Right.
anybody that I've ever spoken with that is an artist, that is one of their old time goals, whether they have kids, whether they don't, is to hit a point where they could live off of what they do. That's what they want, and it's not everybody can, but it makes sense. That's like a goal number one, and then you just kind of you know shoot for the stars from there.
You're right.
But it's an obtainable goal for a lot of people, more so than people think. A lot of people think that they have to hit this huge, huge, huge fan base milestone, number one, be on the radio, get signed with a huge label in order to make it. And that's not even
And
close to
that's
true.
my problem. But that's honestly, I'm realizing that that's my problem, and and that's it's. I'm learning to adjust to it because it was like that for me. With it's always been like that. Like I had a full ride scholarship in high school for college, and but because I felt that I knew I should be playing D1 ball, but because my grades were messed up and I was only getting offers from D2 schools and the D1s and some D1 schools that I just were not like big names. Like I just felt like, all right, I'm not going to college to play football then. Like, and it's kind of like the same thing you just said. Like, some people think they have to have that number one record or like a million fans to consider, oh, I made it or I'm successful, and that's not even the case. Like, and I'm learning that like your success is whatever really you make it, and there's different levels to it, and and another thing I'm learning is just to be happy in the moment, be happy wherever you're at in that moment in time, in that present time, and just keep striving and keep moving forward. Like, you know, you're only gonna get better. You're not gonna get worse at it. You're not gonna, and that's how, at least with creating music. I feel like you can only get better. With
Right.
modeling, you can only get better. You can only grow.
Yeah,
And that's
it is a
just
positive. It's a positive thing, as long as you have positivity and you know, that type of forward thinking, that forward momentum, as long as you're still like in control of what you're doing and how you're doing it, then you have the ability to make or break it. Now, fans are fickle; they can come and go. They come and go in waves. But I've noticed a lot of people deem their first goal, not a goal, but the first time they realized that they felt successful was the moment that someone says, "You changed my life," or "You helped me through something," or having you respond made my week. It did everything. Those moments.
and those are the things that have let me know that I am doing the right thing and that
Mm-hmm.
I am supposed to be doing what I'm doing. Because I've got a few of those messages, and I've had a few people have hit me with those things and said how much I've changed their perception on life from hearing a certain song, or how they listen to this song every single day after they lost their mother. Like things like that is deep. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Like, and actually, "Faded Away" was that song that has touched a few people. I don't know what it is about that record. I don't, but that's the song that had the few people that reached out and said like, you inspired me with those words. And it's not that I don't think my other music might inspire people, but sometimes just about the message. And uh, it's a good feeling to know I have some music that can touch people in those ways, and you know it can pull on those heartstrings and inspire people, and say you changed my life, or you saved me from doing this, and you know what I mean.
Or hell,
So
you made me smile when I really needed it. It's that simple. For one person, you could have just done. You just never know. And that's the thing, is like all that unreleased music that you have that you're still working on, or you're wondering, well, how are people going to respond to that? those are other songs that could be someone who hasn't heard your music, it just hadn't hit that vibe with them yet, and they need that. Who know? You never know. You can't take on that responsibility, but on the other hand, you can't hold back. That's you. That's you, and who you are, and what you want to put out there. You should just do it. I think that's my opinion, but
You're right, and that's basically what the point I've been coming to, and what I'm about to just start releasing a lot more vibes, putting a lot more music out, stop being so hard on myself, and just release it, and stop being such a perfectionist. I think it's just all it is. I'm like always trying to think something can sound better, or something can just be changed, or something can just be fixed, and I think I just need to just put the stuff out.
well, ask a plastic surgeon how that mentality works. They get a lot of business with that. Something can always be fixed. Sometimes you just gotta like leave it be, let it ride. No,
You're right. See, I guess I gotta look at it like that.
well, I mean, you got it to a certain point for a reason, right? And if you're nervous about what people are going to think about different genres and changing it up on who you consider your fans, your supporters at this point, right? My brain thinks that you're probably sitting on it for more reasons of that nature than there's something that needs fixed. It probably doesn't need fixed more. You're probably just more hesitant due to the fact that people have an expectation of what they're going to hear from you, and you don't know how they're going to respond.
That definitely could be a big part of it, unconsciously even knowing that.
I know I look for an excuse to like not do what I don't want to do. I'm like, oh, my ankle. Oh, I guess I can't do the laundry. Oh, that sucks. Oh, I better rest it for 17 more days. Who needs laundry anyway?
I gotta let it heal first. You just push it off as long as you can. Huh? Find any excuse that you can, knowing you really don't have it.
By the way, shout out to the artists in the chat. I see y'all coming up in here, and I appreciate you guys. Nampson's in
What's
here.
up,
Alpha Bite's in here. And Champagne says, I don't always like the music perfect. I like the personality in music.
Yeah. That's it. I like that.
Kitty McBride wants to know, when can we expect the next big release? Well, if I have my way, maybe tomorrow. No, I'm kidding. He's motivated.
Honestly, soon. I honestly am working on a new video for a song. I won't be dropping any names, any titles, or any of that stuff. But not here.
Okay.
Actually, the next few months here. Honestly, sooner than that, but it'll be coming soon.
Okay, so at least you have something in the works. That helps, because
Stuff in the works.
you know that people will push it, and you might not know yet, but I'll tell you, if you go to drop something, all you got to do is, tag it to me or send it to me, so that I can share it, and I'll drop that on my story. I'll drop it, wherever. I don't have a problem doing that with people that I have talked to. That's just part of supporting people without any strings attached. You just tag me in it, or say, hey, did you see what I just dropped? Be like, okay, cool. Let's see what other people think too. And just push it out there. That's what people do.
I appreciate that. I appreciate that support for sure.
Of course.
I really do. It was I really appreciate you having me come on and talk to me.
Oh, of course.
Having me open up a little bit and talk to the podcast, and I enjoyed myself, and I really appreciate you coming on, letting the people get to know me a little bit better, get a little bit of insights about me and myself, about what I got going on.
Absolutely, because you're worth knowing, honestly, and I appreciate you taking the time. I know, like I said earlier, we're both super busy this weekend. You got stuff going on, I got stuff going on. Taking the time, even though technical difficulties, I'm going to leave this one up, and then I'm going to splice together the first part of it, and when I get that done, I'm going to re-upload it as a whole. So for sure, this part of the conversation will be there no matter what, and then when I get them put together, and I'll get you all those videos. And I appreciate everybody for sticking with us through this whole thing. Thank you, y'all.
Appreciate it to everybody that tuned in and chimed in, and For
Definitely.
sure.
If check out his music, check out his YouTube. It was in the description. If it's not, it will be in a little while. Or just look him up on YouTube. It ain't hard. We know how to do that. Just check it out, and if you like it, drop a like, drop subscribe. See what else is coming down the pike. He's already told us gonna be some interesting things. So, on that note, I gotta scoop up my cat and like bring my cat to the new house. So, and you got places to be. So we're gonna probably be getting out of here, y'all.
I appreciate you having me again. I appreciate the questions from everybody. I appreciate the feedback, and I'll see you soon. We'll be talking soon, and I got some new music coming, so everybody stay on the lookout. A'ron Easton on all platforms. Follow me on Instagram, and tune in.
Absolutely. Man, appreciate it. We're going to get out of here, guys. You guys have a great Saturday. I think it's Saturday, right? My days are all messed up. Have a great Saturday and have some fun. Go see your family, friends. Have a good time. But we're out of here.
See you.